Hello, everyone. I am Ambar Lucid, and welcome to the first episode of the Stardust podcast. I am so excited for this new journey. Why have I started a podcast, may you ask? Well, let me tell you a little story. So, for the last 10 years of my life, I have dedicated myself to music. Damn near 10 years. And about 8 months ago, the trajectory of my life completely changed. I went through a really painful breakup and I got dropped by a label. And you know what happened? I was here in my bed. I'm in my bed right now for those of you who may not be watching. I spent 8 months stuck, completely frozen, not knowing what the hell to do next. How do you recover from getting your heart broken? How do you recover from getting divorced? Broken up with and divorced professionally. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't leave my bed. I couldn't leave my apartment. Didn't answer my friends. My life was literally at a pause. And thankfully, I was doing a lot of therapy. A lot of therapy. I also got a life coach. Also did energy healing. And I finally came to a conclusion. There was a light bulb above my head. And God, the universe, told me I needed to start a podcast. I'm sorry, saying it out loud sounds so silly, but really, that's what happened. I was really depressed and so down bad in my bed, and I wanted to make it a point to start the first episode in the depths of hell, the place that saw me at rock bottom, my bed. Because after those 8 months, I was just so sick of nothing lighting me up inside. I was dead inside for a good amount of time. And there was a point where I didn't think I was going to get out of it because nothing was making me excited. I couldn't get myself out of bed to even do music. Music, literally my career, literally what I have dedicated myself to for what feels like all my life. Not even writing music, not even thinking about my artistry. Nothing was enough for me to get out of bed. And that was a really scary experience. And after a lot of therapy, I came to the conclusion that I needed to do something different. I was defining myself in such a limited way because I was so sure of the path that I had chosen for myself that I didn't even consider what would I do if that didn't work out for me. And I've realized that my life is a constant cycle of me rediscovering that I'm an artist. However, I've defined myself as a musician for such a long time that I kind of only lived my life thinking of myself in that way. Until the trajectory of my life changed and the universe literally forced me to look at life differently, to look at myself, to look at every single aspect of myself in a different light. And I was really stubborn about that. I didn't want to do that. I was in deep denial. And I think that's probably why I spent so long in this bed. I was just in deep, deep denial. I was angry at the universe. I was angry at everyone around me. And I was just like, why? This podcast is why. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure that there's many reasons why. I think that, when things are meant for you, they work out. And when they're not, they don't. And it took me a long time to accept that. I was doing a session with a life coach, and she asked me, Ambar, if you could do anything right now, what is your intuition telling you to do? And I said, start a podcast! And that surprised me. I mean, the thought was kind of lingering in my head. I've thought about it before, but I've never really taken it seriously until I realized that my soul, my body, my mind were all asking me to do this. And I think that I'm meant to share my story in a way that I haven't explored previously. And so this podcast is me rediscovering myself. It's me redefining myself, looking at myself in a new light, expressing myself in a way that I haven't allowed myself to before, because I have only ever defined myself as a musician. And so this is really exciting, guys. This is literally the beginning of a new phase in my life where I present myself to the world in a way that is so different than what I've done in the past. And that is so exciting. And the thought of that is what finally got me out of bed. The thought of starting this podcast is what finally got me out of the 8-month funk that I've been in. And God, I couldn't be more thankful for this. Finally, there was something that I found that got me excited to plan, to write, to journal, to be in front of a camera again. And so here I am sharing my journey with you. And my goal for this podcast is to create episodes that force me to exist outside of this room and to share my healing journey and my rediscovery with you. And hopefully you get to learn things about yourself, because this isn't just about me. We're in this together, babes. We're in this journey together. As long as you want to join the ride, babes, let's take the twists and turns of life and let's turn this 8-month period of grieving and sadness into something beautiful. That's why I started this podcast, because I wanted to turn my deep pain into something that can change me and can change others, into something beautiful. I wanted to transmute my negative experiences and finally experience the light at the end of the tunnel. And the light was not coming, so I decided to create it for myself. So welcome to the Stardust Podcast. Hey, I'm so excited to share this journey with y'all. And let's see where the wind takes us.